Now let's look at the process first of virtual account management. Now when we speak about virtual management, and I'm sure by this time we understand the point that if you want to effectively manage your liquidity, you must know or have complete information about that liquidity. Let us take a retail example. Imagine that you're a customer of some mobile company or a credit card company, mobile company like a Vodafone or an Airtel or an Idea, and sometimes a couple of you in this class would have received a call from your credit card company or a mobile company that you have not paid your bill. Now why this call is coming to you is basically because even if you have made that payment, they have not understood that you have made the payment, and that is where you have a gap in the information which they are possessing. The collection team is not aware that a customer has paid, and then even after the customer has paid, you make a call to that customer asking that customer to pay. Have you experienced such a situation? Yes, you have. So in that case, why is this happening? Because there is a lack of information. Now, why there is a lack of information? Because the process runs something like this. You deposit the money in the mobile company's account. The mobile company's accountant at some point of time in a day will download what are the collections, upload them in his customer related system, and then from there he comes to know who has paid, who has not paid. This report is passed on at a later point of time to the collections team, and before they receive this report from the accountant, they start calling the parties that you have not paid even if you have made that payment. Now what is the result of this kind of a call? One is that you have got an annoyed customer. The customer says, I have already made the payment, and despite that you are calling me. Second problem is you are wasting your collection team's time on calling those customers who have already made their payment. Your cost and the time is wasted. So how do we avoid doing that? Is by using this concept of virtual account management. Virtual account management is not necessarily only for collections. It does so many other things where it can help you in creating that MIS, creating this information which is otherwise not easily available in your corporate. So let's understand what is this virtual account management. Now when you got virtual account management, we'll have companies or banks making the payments on behalf of the customer or collecting the money on behalf of the corporate customers. So you'll have POBO, payments on behalf of KOBO, collections on behalf of a corporate client. And then in usual scenario, what we do, if you are a company like General Motors, you may have various dealers. You will tell all your various dealers that you need to make a payment to me as General Motors in a certain bank account. And when they deposit the money in that certain bank account, I know whether they paid or not. Instead of doing this in virtual account management, what a bank would offer to the corporate customer is a system wherein for each and every customer which you have as a corporate client of the bank, you will open a virtual account on the books of the bank. So let us take this example to understand how this would be done. This is before the VAM example on the screen. Now what is before VAM example? In this example, we have got a company called General Motors. It has got customer A up to customer G. And all these customers, whenever they make a payment, they make a payment into a single real account which they have with the Gold Bank. So at Gold Bank, they deposit the money in, let us say, account number 123, which belongs to General Motors. And when the money gets deposited, the money is transferred to the, money is available to the company, that is General Motors. Now unless somebody scrutinizes this account, takes the report, identifies who has made the payment and does appropriate accounting, at the back office, at the sales department or the collection department at General Motors will not know who has paid and who has not paid, because we have to go through the entire process. Take the download the statement, do the accounting internally at General Motors, and then identify who has paid, who has not paid. Rather than do this, what Gold Bank tells General Motors that you have one real account with us, but for each and every one of your customers, you open a virtual account. That means an account through which the funds are only going to pass on to the other thing and to the real account. So we open a virtual account for all our customers from A to F. Customer A is told that if you deposit money, you need to use account number 1 to 3 of General Motors. Customer A will then deposit money only in virtual account 1 to 3. Customer C is told you deposit the money in account number 7, 8, 9. In reality, these are not real accounts. These are only virtual accounts. Whenever anybody deposits any money in any one of these virtual accounts, the money would actually flow to the real account which you see at the back. So what is the advantage of this? Now tomorrow, you want to understand whether customer B has paid or not. One way to do it, of course, look at your internal accounting in General Motors. Alternatively, you open your internet banking website and using that, open the virtual account B or 456 and you'll know if there is an entry, the customer has paid. If there is no entry, the customer has not paid. That means for understanding where a payment has been made to us by the customer or not, instead of looking at our own internal accounting at General Motors, what we will do is use the banking system to understand who has paid us and who has not paid us. And with this, the advantage is you'll be able to understand who has paid or not instantaneously without looking inwards into your books. And this is where your information flow starts effectively. If you now find that customer D has not made a payment, you now need to call only customer D, rather than earlier mechanism of calling everybody from A to F. That is how you will improve your collection process, is by providing the parties adequate tool to understand who has paid and who has not paid. This is advantage 1 in virtual accounts. Are we clear about the concept? Okay, good question. Now, a bank offers a tool to the customer saying that use my application and you, for each of your customers, can open the account. This is part 1. But many banks, including her bank, create a process where they tell the customer, look, it may be difficult for you to do this operation. You have got so many millions of customers. Let me do the same thing for you. And then I don't only provide you with this service of WAM, I also provide you with one more service of operating that WAM for you. So I get money for both the sides. This is the way. So you could do it on your own. Sorry?
It will help in online payment, not in check and all.
No, even if customer A deposits the check, he deposits the check in 1 to 3. He doesn't deposit. So if 1 to 3 has got the credit, you know, so the channel of payment, the method of payment does not matter. What we are looking at is getting the information before it is available internally in General Motors. This is point 1. Okay. So what is the advantage? Collections can improve. Let's look at more advantages of what it can do for you. Now on the screen I have got a shipping company. This shipping company has got 3 ships, ship A, ship B and ship C. And when the ships sail and move from one place to the other place, they collect the freight and they collect the freight in different currencies like euro, like sterling pound or like the USD, and they also spend the money in different currencies. But my shipping company's actual real account is only in one single currency called US dollar. So money of all the 3 ships comes into one single account, money of all the 3 ships goes out of the single account. So I do not have identification if I look at the account statement, which ship earned what and which ship paid what. Again, when my account is in one single currency called USD, if I want to understand which ship spent how much of euros, that account statement doesn't give me that detail because in the account, everything is in currency US dollars. So if now somebody at your shipping company wants to understand how much freight did ship A earn in currency euro, you simply need to open the virtual account of ship A for currency euro and you'll immediately know how many euros come in, how many euros got. So your MIS requirements, which could be built of course on your own systems, can also be built by using the bank's system of virtual account management. This is one more advantage which you can get. So now you want to analyze, instantaneously you will be able to understand how much money you earned in currency dollars or in currency euro as per the system created by you on the virtual account management. This is another advantage. Your MIS building can be done through the system. Your cost control can also be implemented through the virtual account management. Let us understand how. Now imagine instead of 3 ships, you are in a software company and you've got 3 projects, project A, project B and project C. And in most of the software companies, each of the projects will have some budget. Let's assume that the budget of each of these 3 projects is $10,000 each, which means in my real account, I'm going to need $30,000. And now we wish to authorize all the 3 project managers to sign and release checks or payments. Now, if you give them an authority to operate the real account, any one of those project managers can sign a check up to $30,000 because $30,000 are available in your real account. Instead of that, what you do is you create 3 virtual accounts for 3 projects, ABC, and then put a limit that when money flows out of virtual account number A, the total amount of money which flows out cannot be more than $10,000. So now, irrespective of how much money is actually available in the real main account, the project manager for project A irrespective of how many checks he signs, will not be able to sign checks of more than $10,000. So your budget and cost controls can also be implemented by using this virtual account concept. So to summarize, what advantage you have in the virtual account process is availability of information and availability of controls, availability of budget management, availability of cost control, your availability of MIS. All this can happen by using this virtual account management. So here we are not really moving money in and out, we are moving the money through the real account only, but we have created independent channels like virtual account A, B, C, D, E, and through that we are moving the money. And then you can create virtual accounts for different currencies, different projects, and then you can create any linkage or any structure of your choice just to get this information. This is one process which is available in the
that the e-commerce sites which are working and doing the payments are working.
You can do this for e-commerce site. I'll tell you, give you an example. In e-commerce site, let's say Amazon. Imagine Amazon has got 1,000 vendors. When you tell the party to make the payment, the customer to make the payment, you can tell, they don't do it directly that way, but you can tell the party purchasing the goods that if you want to buy goods from vendor A, deposit it in this account. Deposit for vendor B in another account. That account need not be a real account. That account could be a virtual account. The real money can directly go ultimately into Amazon's account. This way e-commerce
They
sites.
don't have these vendors, there is a customer to them is
Then what is the role I am playing in between? We are not speaking about as a payment gateway. What we are I think you are speaking about is a payment gateway, allowing the buyer to directly pay the seller, and I am acting only as the intermediary to connect both of them. Then that I would be some kind of a payment gateway. We are not speaking about a payment gateway. What we are speaking about, I am a bank. I am enabling you to build your own customer database on my system, using which you can analyze the information about your customers. That is their understanding. Yes,
For
sir.
example, I have seen once we complete a visa account from the US consulate, we create a virtual account address, and to that address they have to
Send the money.
right.
Correct. So they will know which party we are. Otherwise, what? See, actually, your example is a very good example, because what happens? Take an example of Visa, or take an example of prepaid mobile payments. All the payments are going to be of identical value. So if everybody is paying $20, $50, $100 for Visa, then if you look at the statement at the American consulate, I will be confused a lot, because every payment is identical. If I have got different numbers, then it's easy based on the invoice values. But here the bill value, invoice value for each of the party is identical. Then it will be difficult to identify. So if you create a virtual account like the way you are saying, for every Visa application that you make, then we know for which Visa application money came instantaneously without needing to analyze that bank statement. Are we clear here? The concept of virtual account? Good. So these are the advantages which we saw. We can improve our collection cycle. We can reduce our days sales outstanding. We know how to follow up with. Then you have reduced administration costs. Improved and faster MIS is another example which you took. We also discussed the improved performance, budgetary control, and the cost control. It is also easy to comply with client and regulatory requirements. And there may be a regulation that certain kinds of payments have to be scrutinized in a different way. In that case, we will transfer or pass those payments from a different virtual account. For example, let's look at the country requirements. There may be a requirement that payment from country A has to be scrutinized more. We tell all the customers from that country to deposit money through that virtual account. Then only that control can be applied only on that particular virtual account for a given country. Now we have these advantages of the virtual account management.